I don't remember much from my accident. I know that the last thing I remember is deciding to go for a ride on my electric skateboard.
Chris went out to go electric skateboarding, and by the time he got back, it was just like a knock on the door and he was standing there bloody. That was definitely a tougher day. Don't love thinking back on that one often, but you could tell pretty quickly like it was not a minor injury. It was pretty scary, kind of. I mean, he looked terrible, so we immediately called 911 and they came and took him to the hospital.
The doctors labeled it, I suffered from a traumatic brain injury, which led to global aphasia, which means I lost the ability to understand, to comprehend, and the ability to speak.
The first few weeks were definitely the toughest. He really wasn't with it at all. He had what was called brain shearing. So essentially when you have a traumatic brain injury and, the connections in your brain break, it's like the neurons that are firing have nowhere to go. So they're just firing and hitting, your brain. And so he couldn't really even focus on anything, or like he just was not there. And he had seizures through that for the first few weeks too. So it felt like every few times we took some steps forward, there was something kind of happening that would have us take a step back. So we were in Delray for, I think, about 3 weeks until he was stable enough to get out of the ICU and then to Shepherd's, which is one of the top traumatic brain injury rehabilitation centers in the country, where he was living there up in Atlanta. So it was, full-time, full days of recovery.
There's one day that I'll never forget, and that was the day I found my cell phone, and something that hit me, I couldn't recognize all the names, but it was the messages that they were giving me. Chris, we believe in you. Chris, you got this. Along with that, the Lacrosse community and Casey Powell Foundation gave me a medicine stick, which I was attached to me, and it put like wings on my back, and I felt like I wasn't alone in this process, and I was ready to fight for my life back.
He literally could not talk. Like, you would ask him a question, he wouldn't be able to give you an answer. He gets a stick in his hand and it's the most natural thing, and he's able to, nothing is wrong. It also brought a lot of hope to all of us of like, okay, Chris is still in there. Like, he can't communicate with us right now, but he's there, like, it's clear.
We called it Brain Camp 2.0, right? And it was just like my house became Brain Camp. And it was me, Lindsay, and my mom, and every single day was just puzzles and all these different activities, which really were exhausting because this is when neuroplasticity was in full effect, and I was trying to reconnect the neurons. It was a grind, and my mom and Lindsay were there pushing me and kind of supporting me and making it fun. I felt like I had, an advantage being in this situation because I was an athlete, because I was a coach, because I knew what affirmations were, because I knew what building a vision was, because I knew what setting goals, right? We'd walk to the sunrise every single morning, and I was grateful, even though I wasn't happy because I wanted my freedom back. But that time was the most valuable time. It was a lot of meditation, gratitude, and happiness, and without Brain Camp 2.0, I don't think I would be standing here without the support and love from my family.
Like, he really is the most positive person I've ever met in my life, and mentally tough person. He set goals for himself, and they were crazy. Like, doctors told him he was crazy, but he just put his mind to it. He worked really, really hard and stayed positive through it, and I think absolutely that played into his recovery.
So after Brain Camp 2.0, I got into Brooks Rehabilitation, which was basically like a 9-to-3 school for brain rehabilitation. And when I first got in there, I realized that it was COVID. Everyone had masks. No one was talking. It was kind of strange, and all of a sudden, for the first time since my accident, like, I didn't feel the light and felt really negative. And I was like, this is my answer. Like, this can't be the place that we've been talking about, and this is my answer. And I'll never forget, I took my lunch and I walked outside, and that was the first time where I had regret, and the first time that I wondered, how did I get here? Like, what is going on with my life? Like, and just sad. And I looked up at the sky, and then I literally saw a sun pop out of the clouds and realized that I was not doing anything and needed to change the scenario, right? I needed to be the light. And I walked back in there. So instead of eating by myself, I walked inside the school. And of course, I'm a music guy, so I bring a speaker with me and I start playing music. And everyone looks over at me and they're like, this new guy is playing music. Are you allowed to do that? What is going on? And there was a guy next to me, and his name was Paul. He was younger than me. And I asked Paul, do you mind if you tell me how you got here? Which he got in a terrible accident. And he told me his goal was all he wants to do is walk across the street and to buy a candy bar. And once he told me that, it hit me and realized I need to help him reach his goal, and I need to make a team. And I found a team out of everyone there, and started some fun things to bring some light. One of those things being Fun Hat Friday. So every Friday we'd come and we'd wear a leprechaun hat or whatever it was, and it brought light to me, and also really made my time at Brooks fun. And really, truly, the biggest thing for me was it gave me a team.
Being taken out of the game, being taken away from the game through the accident, to then watching him go through the whole recovery, and now to see him able to be back and involved in some way is just so cool.
I've been loving it. It's been different, and I look forward to the weekend because we have some amazing players, and I love, supporting them, and I really feel like we have a really strong team that is bought in. And I felt like the comeback to it connects with people, and people who were in a situation similar to that, now they know that they can do it too. And I hope that by sharing the story, it inspires people that, with any setback in life, that you can have resilience and have a comeback.